Hello, the True Crew are here at Edie 25, the UK's longest running and most impactful sustainable business event. We're really excited to meet industry leaders and chat with like-minded environmental professionals about how True can support them to overcome their sustainability challenges and achieve their net zero ambitions. So obviously with ACT, as you've mentioned, you're very big in the renewables and sustainability decarbonisation space. What are you seeing are the main challenges coming up with customers, with businesses, that is preventing them or delaying them from implementing sustainability initiatives or decarbonisation projects?
So a lot of the challenges that I see around corporates making decisions that are based on sustainability, I see that it's very much based around the sort of stagnation in the economy. Okay. So I think it very much conflicts with the fundamentals of their businesses, where they're suffering with the high rise in OPEX costs, interest rates, and they're very much at the crossroad of worrying about the fundamentals of their businesses. And often ESG related sort of costs and on spending money on purchasing carbon credits and renewable energy often are the first to go when it comes to reducing costs for them to keep the business up. Yeah.
At this present moment in time, I'm finding the runways much longer to get decisions through to boards to enable that. And I think it's sort of that bit backwards and forwards of trying to work out what's priority for them. Is the priority actually cost savings or savings money, or is the priority that drive towards their net zero or their net zero targets by 2030? And I think it's quite broken across the larger companies that I speak to, and they sort of take priorities on different levels from different areas, really.
Complexity in the market, to be honest, is a big one. You see in terms of sustainability reporting and carbon reporting and legislation around that it's not the best at the moment. I think it makes it quite difficult for business to understand themselves how sustainable they are. Even the way that REGOs are reported and Scope 2 emissions are reported. But I think it's quite basic in the market at the moment. And so a lot of businesses, in terms of their net zero transition, have tried to almost REGO back their supply, where you're counting REGOs and supply over the course of a year, and you're getting to an endpoint. Getting customers to understand how that works on a half-hourly basis is going to be super important for all businesses.
Yeah. Okay, so in general, sustainability decarbonisation isn't a priority for these businesses. It's not at the forefront, and if they've not got a lot of room in the budget, that's the kind of thing that they'll cut. That's what you're seeing.
Yeah, certainly, and you also see that vary across different industries as well. So myself, I also work with a lot of companies in the manufacturing space primarily, and what we see is that for those companies that are very much affected by the rise in interest costs, it becomes difficult for them to justify the green premiums that they're paying because they're not consumer facing. Primarily, a lot of their push for green initiatives are coming from their stakeholders, from their clients as well. And once their clients are unwilling to pay for these green premiums, then someone has to pay for it, right?
Yeah. Are you seeing compliance and regulation coming up as a key priority? Is that something that's driving people towards your solutions or towards actually putting CapEx down to enhance their sustainability?
I think in my world, which is mainly the building world, there's a lot of good regulations that people use, GRES, neighbours, which drives a lot of what we do in that side of the business. On the industrial side of the world, it's basically that drive to net zero and the consumer side, and the consumer's probably demanding that for the ones that are very public facing. But I think it's, as you say, it's all down to that finance. They've not only got to see that the benefit for them as a company from their net zero side, but there's a financial element. And as financial directors always want to see an ROI and money well spent down the line. They won't enjoy them.
So with your expertise, what do you think are kind of the predominant solutions that are needed to overcome these barriers? And in a perfect world, everybody is then on a renewable energy tariff.
I think access to data, getting customers to understand half-hourly granularity in terms of how they're using energy, when they're using energy. The grid's transforming to intermittent renewable supply, where you've got wind power and solar power coming onto GB grids in quite a substantial way. People need to be looking at how and when they're using energy in terms of not just the total quantum, which has always been the focus for a lot of businesses. And giving people access to data, helping them understand periods of opportunity and periods of tight supply is super important.
Well, thank you very much. That's been super insightful. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.